Every time you tell someone about a goal before you have achieved it, you are making it less likely to happen. And science now proves what the wisest people have always known. The people who change the world are rarely the ones who talked about changing it. They are the ones who went quietly to work while everyone else was still announcing their intentions. Think about the last big goal you told people about. The business you were going to start, the book you were going to write, the weight you were going to lose, the career you were going to change, the life you were going to build. How many of those things happened? And how many of them, after you announced them, after everyone told you what a great idea it was, quietly faded? That is not a coincidence. That is psychology. And it has been documented with remarkable consistency. But here is the thing. The wisest people in history did not need a study to tell them this. They already knew. They had watched it happen too many times. They had seen brilliant plans evaporate the moment they were spoken aloud. They had noticed that the people who talked the most about what they were going to do were almost never the ones who actually did it. And so they developed a practice that looked, from the outside, like arrogance or mystery, but was actually something far more practical: strategic silence. Today, we are going to talk about why silence is not just a personality trait. It is one of the most powerful tools. Silence is one of the most powerful tools available to anyone who is serious about building something real. The mouth is the enemy of the plan, not because people will steal your idea, but because it gives a false sensation. The act of speaking it gives your brain the false sensation that you have already done it. Here is what is actually happening. The moment you tell someone, and they respond positively with encouragement, your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical it releases when you actually accomplish something. Your mind cannot distinguish between the announcement and the achievement, so it gives you the reward early, before the work, before the result, before anything has actually changed. And once you have received the reward, the motivation to do the difficult, unglamorous work begins to quietly drain away. Researchers at New York University ran a series of experiments on this exact phenomenon. They asked participants to write down personal goals. Some were asked to share them publicly. Others were told to keep them private. The results were striking. The people who had shared their goals publicly worked significantly less hard and quit earlier. They felt, paradoxically, more satisfied with their progress, despite having done less. The act gave them a sense of identity completion. They had told the world who they were going to be, and their brain had partially accepted that as reality, reducing the drive to become it. The people who stayed quiet, they worked harder, stayed in it longer, and produced more measurable results. Silence was not just a preference, it was a competitive advantage. Recognition of the urge is key. The next time you feel the urge to announce something, recognize that urge for what it is: a shortcut to the feeling of success. Do not give it that shortcut. Let the work be the announcement. Silence is not secrecy. It is protection. You are protecting it from opinions it is not yet strong enough to survive. When you share a dream in its early stages, before it can defend itself against scrutiny, you are exposing something fragile. Not because the people around you are malicious, but even well-meaning people carry their own fears and limitations. And those fears travel quietly through a raised eyebrow, a gentle, "But have you thought about?" a look that says they are not sure. A seed does not announce itself before it is a tree. It grows in the dark, in silence, building roots strong enough to hold what is coming. Only then does it break through the surface. The goal was never to be mysterious. The goal was to arrive. Let your vision grow in silence until it is strong enough to withstand the world's reaction to it. By then, you will not need their approval. You will have something better. You will have results. And results speak in a language that no opinion can argue with. Before we continue, If what we are discussing today is reaching you, if it is making you think differently, I want to ask you one favor. Subscribe to this channel. Not because numbers matter to me, but because every week I come back with something worth thinking about. And I would like you to be here when I do. A like also tells me that this conversation was worth having. Now, let us continue. You do not need to tell people where you are going. Arrive. The arrival will tell them everything, in a way they never would have before. When Steve Jobs returned to Apple in 1997, the company was 90 days from bankruptcy. Nobody outside a small circle knew what he was planning. He did not hold press conferences about his vision. He did not ask the world for its opinion on what Apple should become. He went to work. 2 years later, he walked onto a stage and showed the world the iMac, then the iPod, then the iPhone. Each one arrived fully formed. The announcements came after the work, never before. They landed with a force that no promise or early reveal could ever match. The world pays attention to results. It merely tolerates promises. Stop seeking permission to begin. Stop waiting for validation. Stop announcing and start building. When you arrive, and you will arrive if you do the work, no one will ask to see your plans. There is another man whose story deserves to be told here. Warren Buffett, arguably the most successful investor in human history. He spent decades building Berkshire Hathaway in near-complete obscurity. While others on Wall Street were holding press conferences, while others were appearing on television to explain their genius, Buffett went quietly to work in Omaha, Nebraska. Irrelevant to some, he did not explain what he was doing. He did not seek validation from the financial establishment. He simply worked. For decades, the financial world largely ignored him. Some dismissed him. A few mocked the idea that serious investing happened there. And then, quietly, undeniably, the results arrived. Today, Berkshire Hathaway is one of the most valuable companies in the world, and Warren Buffett is studied, quoted, and admired by the very people who once ignored him. He did not change to win their approval. He simply kept working until the results made the argument for him. That is the power of silence in service of a vision. You do not need the world to believe in what you are building. You only need to believe in it yourself, long and quietly enough to finish. The world cannot steal what it cannot see. Guard your vision the way you guard anything irreplaceable, not in fear, but in wisdom. There was once a craftsman who had developed a technique so refined that it produced work unlike anything else. He shared it freely. Within a year, 3 of his competitors were using variations of his technique. His advantage, the thing that took years, was gone. He went to an elder and said bitterly, "They stole from me." The elder looked at him steadily. The elder said, "No one can steal what you do not place in their hands. You gave it freely. The lesson is about your wisdom." Protect your process. Protect your edge. Not every insight you have earned needs to be shared before it has served you. Let it become unassailable before you let the world weigh in on it. The lion does not announce the hunt. It does not gather the field and explain its intentions. It moves. It focuses. It arrives. And only then does the world understand. When Michelangelo was asked how he created his David, he said, "I took the marble and removed everything that was not David." He did not hold consultations. For 2 years, he worked, largely alone, largely in silence, on a block others rejected. When he was done, he unveiled it. And the world understood immediately what he had done. There was nothing to explain. The work explained itself. Whatever you are building right now, your business, your craft, your character, go quiet. Stop explaining it. Stop seeking permission for it. Let the silence be your strategy. And when you are ready, emerge. Starting today, one goal. Tell no one. Write it down for yourself, work on it in silence, and let the result be the only announcement. The most powerful thing you can do after watching this is nothing visible. No post, no announcement, just go to work. That is how it starts. If this spoke to you, share it. I am Salomon. I will see you in the next one.